everybody, and welcome to week 12 of our project. This week, we are going to be looking at the presentation marking rubric and using that to give some feedback to example presentations. So in this lesson, we will discuss the presentation marking rubric, and then we will use that marking rubric to give feedback to some example presentation videos. So let's get started with that presentation marking rubric. Now, this is the rubric your teachers will be using to give you your grade on your final project presentation. So we want to be sure that we really understand it and know what it is our teachers will be looking for in our videos. So as you can see, there's a lot of things to think about. We have 6 different categories that we're going to be analyzing as we give you your grade on your final video. We're going to be looking at organization, content, presentation skills, speaking skills, language, and time management. And for each of these, you can get a score between 0 and 4. So let's look at them in more detail so we know how to get those higher marks. So our first category is organization. And in organization, we are looking to see that your presentation has a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. Now, if you follow the outline that we've been working on, this shouldn't be a problem. It should be very easy for you to have all of the parts of your presentation. So what we're also going to be listening for in organization is good use of linkers and transition words, and that your ideas in your presentation are presented in a logical order, that you've put the same type of information together on your slides. So to get into that 3 and 4, we want a good use of transition words, linking words, and all of those ideas are presented logically. This is just like what we do in our essays. So take all of those lessons about transition and linking words and apply them here, and you will do very well. The next category that we're going to be looking at is content. Again, if you have been following the lessons and doing each of the tasks, then you should have more than enough information to fill your presentation. So what's going to be the challenge for you in content is choosing good, relevant information about your destination and attractions. We don't want information that's too general, too simple. We don't want it to be too specific. We want it to be focused on our main goal, which is getting the SQU Travel Club to choose our destination for their first trip. So you want to be sure that all of those ideas are well chosen, interesting, focused, and relevant. The next thing we're going to consider is how you present that information. Are you just reading from your notes, or is it just a memorized presentation? Or is it clear that you have practiced your presentation many times and that you feel comfortable and natural giving your presentation? Remember, you can practice as many times as you want. You can make 100 videos if you want to and pick the very best one to send your teacher. I've already made this video about 7 times this morning. I hope this is the good one, right? So be sure that you're practicing. Be sure that you are comfortable giving your presentation. The next thing we're going to be listening for is, of course, your speaking skills. So this is where all of those skills you've been practicing in your speaking classes is coming to fruition, where we want to hear that you have a good rate of speech, good fluency. So not too fast, not too slow, not a lot of but that you're comfortable and have a good speed. Also, good volume. Can we hear you? Or do you talk with your hands over your mouth? A lot of students do that. Don't laugh. Also, of course, pronunciation. Be sure that you look up any unknown words, especially any foreign names of places, or attractions. You want to be sure that you know how to pronounce all of those words. To get up here in the 3 and 4, we want a good, comfortable volume and speed, clearly pronounced words and phrases. And to get into the 4, we want to hear that you can use your speaking skills, things like pauses, stress, intonation, to communicate ideas with the viewer. Of course, we also have to listen for your language. So this is your grammar and vocabulary. And of course, we want to hear that you can use 340 level grammar structures: present tense, past tense, future tense, articles, prepositions, modals, count and non-count noun. All of those different grammar structures we've been studying this semester, that you can use them and use them correctly. We're also going to be listening that you have a nice range, a nice variety of vocabulary. And then finally, we're going to be paying attention to time management. Part of this project, part of the challenge, is that you do have some time limits. If you're an individual, then your presentation needs to be between 3 and 5 minutes. And if you're a pair, then your presentation needs to be between 6 and 10 minutes. Now, if you can fit all of your ideas within that time frame, then you will easily get a 3. To get into the 4, we want to see that you use your time well to balance out the different parts of your presentation. Not just spending 2 minutes talking about the introduction and then shoving all the attractions into 1 minute at the end. We want to see that you've used your time carefully and wisely to present your information. All right, so now it's time for us to practice using this rubric. So what I want you to do is, we're going to stop the video here, and I want you to go and watch example 2 on this week's task in our map of our project. So go and watch example 2, and then in our next video, I'm going to show you how you can use the sample rubric to give feedback to these different presentations, and we'll talk about some of the good and bad things in it. All right, so go and watch example 2, and then come back for our next video and we'll talk about it. All right, see you then. Bye.